What's up? How you doing? Here we are. Beautiful day. Beautiful day. Of course, it's cloudy. We're expecting rain later on. A little bit. I don't think it's going to be that much. But nice and mild. Awesome book. Awesome book. Page turner. I'm a big fan of birds. Birds are sitting on a tree. They're thinking about what to do today. And they just go. No walking involved. You fly, you glide a little bit. You know, really good way of getting around. Tea. English tea. Delicious. Perfect. So yeah, it's cloudy today, but I mean, it's gathering, it's moving. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the holdup is, but no rain yet. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have flash flooding, mudslides, and so we have the fires still burning. But you know, with a good rain, those things go out within a couple of hours. But the earth is not. It's not built that way. You know, where you have fires and then the earth goes, okay, let me summon up some rain clouds. Doesn't do that. It just says let it burn, because the earth doesn't care. Does not care. So I enjoy watching birds fly at nighttime, evening hours here. Not nighttime, but 5:30. The crows show up, and crows are extremely intelligent birds. If you pick on one of them, it will give that information to its offspring, and its offspring will shun you. So yeah, they're very smart animals, the crows. They show that video where there's a bottle of water. There's only that much water in the bottle, and the crow is thirsty. So it figures out that if it drops pebbles into the bottle, that the water will rise. And that's very intelligent. Most humans can't figure that out. But the crow with that teeny weeny brain figures it out. Like getting up early in the morning and checking out the bird traffic. I remember going to the Grand Canyon, and I would get up 5:30 in the morning, and then I would look out into the canyon, and you would see these hawks just gliding through the air, you know, doing their thing. And occasionally they attack. They attack not humans, but they attack other birds. They'll be chasing other birds. It looks like Hot Pursuit, Roscoe P. Coltrane. Got my lantern out. I like lanterns. Big fan of lanterns. You put the fuel down below, right here. The wick is right there. See that? The wick. Light it up. Put it on a couple of bricks, or hang it up somewhere. Kind of like miners have, you know, miners, or the was it the Seven Dwarfs there? Snow White. They were mining a lot. I don't know what they were looking for. Gold, probably, right? So yeah, it's a nice day. Like I said, it's a little bit murky, but not really. I mean, I see breaks in the clouds right now, so let's see if we even get any rain. So I highly recommend this book. Pick up a copy at your local bookstore. Look at, I mean, look at these. I'm a big fan of the hawk and the sparrow. Why the sparrow? Because Beretta, in the theme song, it said, keep your eye on the sparrow when the going gets, was it rough and narrow or tough and narrow? Rough and narrow. Sung by Sammy Davis Jr., who also sang Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, another song. I really like that song, but I like it even more when the Nitty Gritty Band did it, or does it. Because that's my favorite version. Although Sammy Davis's version is fine, it's just that a little bit, for me, it's a little bit better when the Nitty Gritty Band does it. So there's tons of good-looking birds in here. Tells you where they're located. But yeah, I like getting up in the morning and hearing chirping birds go by. When I was a kid, I would get up early and I'd walk around the neighborhood, and no one would be out, but I would hear the birds chirping, and usually even then it was crows. That tea is delicious. So many birds. I mean, this is a really interesting book, but so many birds in here. It's the kind of book you take with you on an airplane. Not only are you flying like a bird, but it keeps you interested during the boring hours. So there's Lincoln's sparrow. I don't know what that is, but it's a sparrow. Look at that. Lincoln's sparrow. They're all over the place, these things. Find them everywhere. They live 7 years, up to 7 years. Weight, about ½ ounce. So you got to get a lot of these to get a good meal. If you were like starving, ½ ounce, you probably have to get about 20 of them. 20 of them with onions. I've never had sparrow, but you know, I mean, if you're hungry, right, you have to survive. You have to eat the sparrow with onions, a little bit of garlic, salt, pepper. So this one is the Savannah sparrow. You find it all over the place, and socially it's a solitary bird, which I appreciate. Song sparrow, yeah, that one I like. That one is the one I'm used to. See a lot of those song sparrow. Solitary. Yeah, they don't hang around with the sparrows. They're on their own. It's like squirrels. You ever see a squirrel congregate with like 7, 8 squirrels? No. What's going on here? So yeah, I like the sparrow. I like all kind of birds. I enjoy watching them land on the wire. Bird on a Wire, Leonard Cohen. And just I imagine, you know, where are these birds going? What are they doing? Where do they go at night? You don't really see birds at night, and you don't really find many birds dying during the day while they're flying. So obviously they go somewhere to die. But there's a lot of different variations of the sparrow. A lot of them. I'll tell you a story. I think I was like 10 years old. Kind of interruptions here, you know. So I have a story about a blue jay. So yeah, I think I was like 10, 11 years old, and I was in a beach town, right? And I had just met this kid, became friends with this kid, you know. It was just brand new friendship, didn't know him that well, but you know, when you're a kid, you click with people instantly. So we're walking around playing all day, and then we came upon a pine tree. And I noticed there was a nest on the pine tree. and I look and I saw a blue jay hanging out by the nest, and I go, wow, check that out. So I climbed the tree, wasn't that high up, and I found that in there were eggs, little ones, and I took, I think I took one. I don't remember taking them all. I took one, and I took, me and him decided we were gonna, you know, go through the incubation process ourselves. I mean, I wasn't gonna sit on it, but I was gonna keep it in a warm location, and then it was gonna hatch, and then I was gonna raise the little blue jay. So I brought it home while we were staying. You might hear a noise over there. And I opened up, there was a hot water boiler room. You know, one of those rooms with the water tank is in there for the hot water heater or whatever. And I saw it's nice and warm in here. Perfect temperature for the bird. So I went, and then I got a big thing of insulation. You know, that pink insulation. And then I took the like some paper, and I put the egg in there inside the insulation, and I said that'll do it, right? So this is the funny part of the story. I noticed that there was a blue jay right across from me going into that little room. I'd open up and I saw a blue jay right, there was a little tree there looking at me, watching. And every single day after that, the blue jay would be there at the tree watching me, and I realized that that's the blue jay that was the mother for the egg that I took. And to this day, you know, it saddens me when I think of that, because, you know, I should have left it alone. But being a kid back then, I thought that I was going to raise it and have it as a pet. And it didn't work out that way. The bird did not survive. It did hatch, but it, you know, I'm not much of a bird feeder when it comes to birds that age. So the bird did not survive, and then I felt even worse about it. But I did redeem myself, I think, a little bit. So about, let's see, maybe 15 years later, I was in my backyard, my actual house, and there was in my backyard a pigeon, and I looked and it wasn't moving. So I got close to it, and I noticed that it was hobbling around. So it had a broken wing or something. It couldn't, you know, extend the wing. And I grabbed it and I took it down into the basement, and I had this this big bird cage down there. It's like it wasn't really a bird cage, but it was it was like a crate with holes in it. So I put the bird in there, and then I went and I bought some food for the bird, seeds. There's a couple of birds going by there. Anyway, so I came back, fed the bird. That was like end of spring, beginning of summer, right? So every day I would be down there feeding the bird, and the bird was getting bigger and bigger, and a couple of times I even washed the bird. Had a sink down there, and I washed it with Johnson & Johnson's baby shampoo. I don't know if that was good for the bird, but the bird was nice and clean. And so one day I looked at the bird, and it looked healthy to me, so I took it upstairs to my room, and I was trying to teach it how to fly. So I was tossing it up, like, so I have the bed here, and I would toss it up and the bird would land on the bed. It wasn't flying. So I said, that's not a mama's boy, he just has to get a repair done. At least it's on time. Shut it right off. I had a remote. Oh, that worked. So anyway, I kept tossing it up, and the bird would just land on the bed, and it wasn't even trying to fly. And then I said, it's not time yet. Not time. I felt like the bird was Grasshopper and I was Master Po. He couldn't grab the pebble. He said, it's not time for you to leave yet. But when you can fly, you can go. So anyway, brought it back downstairs to its little home there, and I fed it and all that. I had the water there on the side that I would change daily. And then 2 weeks later, I tried again. Except this time, the bird flew around my room, did rotations. Boom, 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 boom. You know, so I said, okay, it can fly. So I remember that was a Friday. The next day, Saturday, we were going to go somewhere as a family. And I went and I got a little ribbon. And I tied the ribbon to the bird's foot so that if I saw the bird again, I could recognize it. A little ribbon about that long. And then I went in my backyard and I gave it a nice toss up, and the bird flew and it flew and it flew, and it went all the way to the top branch of the oak tree in the backyard. So I was very happy that I was able to give the bird an environment where it could heal, and it did. So the bird went up to the top branch and it watched me, and I watched it from down below, and we did that for a few minutes, and then my father said, okay, we're leaving. So we left, and I never saw the bird again. So about a week later, I said to my father, I go, you know that bird I released? And he said, yeah. I said, you know, I tied a ribbon around its foot, and I haven't seen that bird come back. And he goes, oh, he goes, birds with their beak take those things apart and they free themselves. I said, oh. So anyway, I feel like I did something positive for the bird kingdom, and I redeemed myself a little bit for the actions that I took against the blue jay. Yeah, I should have left that egg alone and let the mother enjoy it. I mean, I didn't take them all. I don't believe I took them all. I remember I took one, and I thought, like I said, I thought I was gonna, you know, nourish it, take care of it, provide heat and comfort, and then all of a sudden it was gonna hatch, and it was gonna call me mom. But it did not happen. The bird did not survive, and I don't know why. You know, I don't know why. Everything you need is inside the egg, and I provided the heat. What more did the bird need? I don't know. So, and I will tell you, I'm not really you know, a bird pet guy. You know, I don't know what the, maybe if I had a parrot, I could talk to it. But I'm more of a dog guy. I have cats, and they're fine, but they don't respond to you the way a dog does. You know, a dog is like over there, you do this, and the dog is over here immediately. A cat could be right here, and you'll be calling it by name that you've given it for the past 5 years, and the cat ignores you, doesn't care, does not care. So a few minutes ago, the sky was extra cloudy, and now the sky is breaking up, and I see blue everywhere. So I don't know what's going on with the rain. Yeah, there's a ton of sparrows. There's even a grasshopper sparrow. There's another one. It's all over the country, but their status is in declining. They live 7 years. Most of these are 7 years. Some of them are unknown. I guess we're not that advanced yet to know how long a sparrow lives. But yeah, tons of sparrows. Bird watching sounds boring, and I don't sit there with binoculars watching birds, but I do enjoy watching them fly by in that peaceful way they fly by. And then, you know, the other ones are like in the V shape, and that's only because of wind resistance that creates that shape. But I just, you know, every once in a while you see a lone and solitary bird fly by. Almost looks like a Bob Ross painting. Lawrence's goldfinch. Good looking bird. Yeah, we'll have to have the blue jay in here. Yeah, so since that time with the egg, I do not disturb the wildlife at all. I let it live let it live, because it's not, you know, it's not my thing. What am I? Who am I to take away an egg? Blue jay. Let me see if a blue jay's in here. Bluebird. Is that the same thing? Blue jay. It's not the same thing, so that's fine. That's a great book. I am glad I purchased this. I'm very happy about that. All right, where are we? Yeah, we have a lot of hummingbirds here. Hummingbirds. I even have a couple of feeders here. They show up and they start flapping their wings like a bee, really quick. And we have sparrows. Like I said, we have the scarecrows. We have crows. Might even have a scarecrow somewhere. I did have a scarecrow years ago. Pigeons, not so much. I don't really see pigeons around here. Bert from Bert and Ernie, he liked pigeons. Did a pigeon dance. All right, let's get to the blue jay here. Oh yeah, this is the blue section. There it is. Yeah, blue jay. I don't see any blue jays out in California, but east of the Rocky Mountains, it's loaded with blue jays. So it says here the blue jay is one of the best known birds in North America. It is loud, flashy, and common in rural and suburban backyards across the eastern U.S. It's a good-looking bird. I don't know, I really didn't notice them being loud. I don't know. If I hear the sound of I'll go on YouTube or something and say, oh, there's a cat there, speaking of birds. But I'll put the sound of a blue jay and see what it sounds like, and I can tell if I've heard it before. So, well, I feel a little bit better now, because here it says the blue jay often raids the nests of smaller birds for their eggs and eats them. So that's almost like cannibalism. Although if I ate a gorilla, right, that would probably not be considered cannibalism, but I mean, a bird eating another bird. And their voice, harsh, screaming, JJ. I'm trying to... There was a bird when I was younger that we had a friend, and he would always, like the bird would chirp, and he would say, that's it, that's it, that's it. And the bird sounded like it was saying, that's it. That's it. So they named it the That's It bird. Yeah, so it will eat the other bird's eggs. It feeds on insects, acorns. Acorns suck. You really have to, that bitter flavor, you have to put them in water and keep draining the water so you get rid of that bitter flavor. Awful. I've had acorns when I was a kid. Pop them in. They're not that good. Thumbs down on that. They also eat small lizards. I don't know. That's a rodents, other birds' eggs. They probably eat their own too, you know. Birds don't think that way. Oh, it's cannibalism. No. But it's a good looking bird. But there's a lot of, this one here is the Florida scrub jay. That one is only in Florida. Only in Florida. Probably went to fly a little bit north of Florida. It says too cold here. Came back down. California scrub jay. Only in California. hence the name, right? And then Woodhouse's Scrub Jay. That one looks like Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah. The Mexican Jay. That's a good looking bird too, but looks totally different than the blue jay. Wow, this one lives up to 20 years. Man, that's good teeth. The American crow. Let's find out about the American crow. The American crow is all over the country, coast to coast, north and south. You hear that? That's a cat. I don't know what's going on with the cats. I don't know if they're fighting or if they're giving birth. Oh, I see one cat. One cat's out there just watching, but I don't know where the noise is coming from. And the cutest thing, kittens. You see them and they're like adorable. You know, I rescued mine from the backyard here. They were like tiny. They were not even big enough to eat on their own, and their group disappeared. Wasn't coming back, so they hung around with me, the two, and then I fed them. I went to was it Petco? I went to Petco. I bought a bottle with the nipples, and I bought the formula and powder, and every day I would mix, and then I would grab the first one there and I'd feed it, then the next one I'd feed it, and then they got big enough where the teeth were like razor blades, and they would chew through the nipple thing and tear it to pieces. So then I said, okay, yeah, they're doing something. So I said, okay, you can eat on your own now. And then I went and got them the little kitten food, and they started eating on their own. Yeah, something's going on. I think the cat's giving birth. It's got that sound to it, and the other one's keeping a watch. So yeah, crows everywhere, even as far north as northern Canada. So crows live up to 15 years. They have a length of 15 to 19 inches. They're very social. That's why they're always together. Anytime you see crows, there's like a few hundred of them at night or evening. Well, yeah, I say night. It's not night. It's evening. But you see a few hundred of them fly by. They hang around the wires together. So very social. The status of the crow is secure, which means there's an overabundance of them. If you're a homeless person, get a pair of slingshots and you can eat crow. What else does it say? So the American crow is common in almost all habitats, from wilderness to urban centers. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that, if the mic is picking that up. But there's a cat. Sounds like it's in distress, but I think that it's giving birth. I had a cat one time. This is back in the 80s. Got pregnant by a big white cat. Got back from work one day, and I looked in the backyard, and back then there was a pile of wood stacked up, and I look and I see something. I go, there's like a statue back there. So I got really close, and then I heard it was a cat. It was a big, muscular, white, all white cat that was sitting there. It looked like a statue to me. I thought it was like a cement statue. It was a big cat. Well, that cat had a relationship with my cat, an intimate one, and got my cat pregnant. And then my cat's belly was huge. It was walking around with this big barrel belly. And then my parents had gone somewhere, and I was home alone, and I didn't see the cat for a while. And then the cat pops up, and I look, and the cat's all thin. And I go, cat gave birth somewhere. I searched everywhere, all over. I couldn't find the kittens. I looked throughout the entire house, everywhere, under the bed, closets, you name it, I looked. So a day or so goes by, and I'm thinking, I don't know whether maybe she gave birth outside. And I say she because it was a female. And at some point, I'm in the basement, and I'm doing the laundry, and my cat pops up and comes out of an area that I figured out must be the place where the cat gave birth. So I went in there, and it was my father's little office in the basement. He had a little room where he kept tools, and he had cabinets in there and all that, with the tools were in there, but the cabinets were, you know, the sliding door kind. So some of the doors were open, and I said, it's got to be in one of these. So I started listening, and I could hear like really high-pitched meowing noise. So as I'm feeling, you know, inside to see, I felt the fur, and it was, I think, 5 or 6 little kittens, and my cat was down there just watching. And I pulled one of them out, and I look, and it was a white one. I pulled another one out, it was a white one. All of them were white. All of them were white. They look like those tigers, Siberian tigers. So anyway, I don't know, I left them alone. My cat kept going in, feeding him and all that. So a couple of weeks later, I brought him upstairs. I washed him, gave him a nice sudsy bath, cleaned him out, and so like 3 of them had really short fur, really friendly. There was one that was like had an attitude about everything, you know, when it got bigger, and there was one that had really long hair, long white hair, kind of looked like a lassie type dog, you know, those collies. So we passed them out. We gave them, you know, whoever wanted one. Passed them around the neighborhood, and they were big cats. My cat was tiny, so yeah, I hear that. I don't know. So anyway, and then I had a black cat, which was an awesome cat. This cat was another rescue cat. Came up to me. It was, you know, not too big, little when it came up to me. I was in front of the sidewalk. It kept coming up to me, wouldn't leave. And I said, oh, something's wrong here. So I picked up the cat, very friendly, and it had a gash underneath its armpit area that you could see into the body. Big hole, cut. And I said, uh-oh, this cat's not going to survive like that. It'll get an infection. So I took it to the vet up the street. And I was thinking if it was something crazy expensive, I wouldn't be able to afford it back then. So I asked him how much, and I remember he said, well, he goes, I could do it for under 100. So I said, oh, under 100, I go, do it. So he goes, okay. He goes, come back in a few hours, and cat will be ready to go. Came back, had my checkbook with me back then, and he, I remember the bill was $98. I don't remember the pennies. And I gave him the check. He gave me the cat back, and I kept it. But I didn't make it an indoor cat. It was indoor-outdoor cat. So at nighttime, it would stay in the house with me. And then in the daytime, it would wait by the door, and when I would open up the screen door, it would take off. I don't know where it would go, maybe to the original home. Had to come from somewhere, right? It was a really cool cat. It looked like a panther. LAPD. I see that. I think it's Steve McGarrett. They're looking at me. I'm looking at them. So anyway, I kept that cat for a very long time, and then because it was an outdoor cat, it one day went out and never came back. I don't know where it went, but I don't know what happened. It got hit by a car, it got attacked by a raccoon. I'll tell you a funny story. This is one of those crow stories that, you know, is very interesting to me at the time, but it's still interesting. So my cat would bring all kind of things back, mice, mices, you name it, it would capture them. It was like a very good hunter, very muscular body, panther-esque, right? So anyway, my cat had this habit of hiding in the corner of the yard, and when the crows would fly over the yard to land, my cat would jump out of nowhere and swat the crow down and try and, I guess, I don't know, attack it and eat it or something, right? So one day it was successful. It swatted a crow out of the sky and busted the wing up, and the crow couldn't do anything. And then out of nowhere, a bunch of crows came down and attacked my cat. And somehow, I don't know how they did it, but somehow they were able to grab the crow with the broken wing and bring it up to the closest tree. And for the entire summer, every single day, the crows would feed that other crow that was injured, and they would also leave a bunch of crows with it for company, and then the other ones would take off and go somewhere, and then they would come back, feed it throughout the day. And anytime my cat was out in the backyard, the cats in the tree, they would start crowing loud, aggressively, to kind of scare it away. And my cat would be looking up. Here comes LAPD again. They did a big rotation. Oh, they found me. Right. So anyway, this was the entire summer. Every single day the crows would come back, feed this distressed crow. And then if my cat, like I said before, if my cat was outside, they would crow really loud and aggressively. So after a while of doing that the entire summer, the crow was able to fly away with the rest of them. And it just shows you how intelligent these animals are. Yeah, they're not intelligent to the point where they can create rockets to go to the moon, because they don't have the opposable thumbs. But they're still very smart animals. And here's the raven. There's another intelligent animal. The common raven. This one is all over Canada, all the way from the northern parts to the southern parts of Canada, east to west. But then Colorado and west of the Colorado Rockies and down all the way to Mexico, they're very common, the ravens. But if you go east of the Colorado Rockies, except for a small area in New England, you don't see them anywhere. So they live 15 years, up to 15. Weight, 2.5 to 3.5 pounds. Length about 27 inches, and they like to hang around in small flocks. Alright, I had to take a little break. I had to look over there. The cats, I hear like, I don't know, distress calls, and but I don't see anything. I can hear it though. It's underneath, so I had to take a little gander investigation. So anyway, I was talking about the swallow, bank swallow, pretty much all over America in lake concentrations, but then you get all the way down to southwest Mexico, and that's where they are more concentrated. Tree swallow, yeah, that's the one I know. Yeah, that one's all over the U.S. Status is secure. They live up to 11 years. It's interesting. This is a really green swallow, a violet green swallow. This is mainly on the west of the Rockies. Now, you know what other bird I find, or species, or whatever? Owls. Owls are very creepy looking animals. They're beautiful in some kind of way, but when I go to the Devil's Punch Bowl, there's owls there. One time I came up and I was like walking by a tree, and I looked, and there was a big owl just sitting there watching me. Had the eyes following me. The neck does all that twist motion. Wow, it's a verdin, good looking bird, the verdin. Look at this bird, got the yellow hair. Good looking bird. This bird lives up to 5 years. Before you know you're born, it's done. I don't know, the big birds must live long. I'm gonna really look at this later. But yeah. I mean, these are all tiny birds. There's gotta be, maybe eagles live a long time, right? Harris sparrow. The house sparrow. Yeah, that looks like the one that I know. Because this one is in high numbers. Oh no, it says in decline. Are people chopping down the sparrow? Yeah, the house sparrow. Looks like the numbers are dropping. I don't know what's going on with them, but I think that's the one I'm used to seeing a lot of, the house sparrow. Something about the sparrow, you got to keep your eye on the sparrow. All right, anyway, I'm gonna head out now, and I will be back later. I may make another video, I don't know, it depends how I feel. If I feel like sitting here talking to myself, I will make another video. It's kind of weird when you think about it, you know. I'm talking to myself now, because there's no one here, it's just me with the camera, but I'm just talking to myself. In any other situation, that would seem very weird. Like I'm losing my mind. I'm here having a conversation by myself. Trying to see, oh, let's see, vultures. This vulture here, the black vulture, lives 26 years. Turkey vulture, 17 years. Osprey, 25 years. The California condor, 60 years. They're endangered. Wow. Now the condor looks like a creepy bird. They eat everything. So far, 60 years for the condor is the record. I mean, they live that long and they're endangered. So anyway, let me see. The black hawk. Owls live 8 years, 13 years, 4 years. The snow owl lives 9 years. The great horned owl, 28 years. That looks like X the Owl from Neighborhood of Make Believe. Yeah. Fascinating. Highly recommend this book. Anyway, all right. That's it for now. Ciao.